friends. But what would your friends think?
Thanks for joining us. We are Deplorable Rhetoric on WSTBR. Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. You can also reach us on Facebook at Deplorable Rhetoric, on Instagram, Deplorable_Rhetoric, and on Twitter, we rant the number 2 rate.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to She's the Boss Radio Network, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Focus on topics to build, strengthen, inspire, as well as motivate men, women, and youth from the home to the conference room and around our community. I am Sigourney.
Moran.
And that's Ron. And this is Deplorable Rhetoric. We want to thank you for tuning in. We invite you to be part of the show by calling in 443-272-5922. You can also go on she'sthebossradio.com. And you can go to tunein.com and shoutcast, ask Alexa or Siri to play She's the Boss Radio. You can also follow She's the Boss Radio on Facebook at She's the Boss Radio, Twitter at She's the Boss Radio, IG is WSTBRN, and Twitch and Tumblr is WSTBR. Okay. So Omicron. Or COVID period. But
Right.
So, well, let's start with one of Omicron's subvariants, because there's 5 at this point.
She multiplying.
Yeah. So the new Omicron, this is from Fortune. New Omicron spawn like Centaurus and Bad Ned, whatever that is, may be the reason you have a weird summer cold or worse. So, okay, I don't want to sign up. Thank you.
Always.
So it starts out by saying, if there's one thing we've learned from the pandemic, it's that evolution isn't necessarily a lengthy process that takes thousands, if not millions of years. It can be rapid and ruthless. So on Tuesday, the CDC announced the new-ish Omicron subvariant BA.5. And of course, I say newish because we talked about this 4 and 5 some weeks back on the show. But anyway, BA.5, which swept South Africa this spring, had finally become dominant in the U.S. So on Tuesday, the CDC said it finally became dominant in the U.S. after first being detected there in March. Yeah, okay. But there was no chance for the subvariant to celebrate. What? Oh, we're able to. I can't read. So anyway, on the same day, the WHO tweeted a video about a new concerning variant surging in India. One giving BA.5, the most highly transmissible immune-evasive version of COVID yet, a run for its money. So they went down in numbers. This one is BA.2.75, dubbed Centaurus by some on Twitter, has already arrived in the U.S., the CDC told Fortune on Thursday, with the first 2 cases identified on June 14th. It's been located in approximately 10 countries so far, said Dr. Soumya Swaminathan. WHO's chief scientist said this week it's not yet been declared a variant of concern or even a variant of interest, and it's too soon to gauge transmissibility, severity, and the potential for immune evasion. So they know nothing. It's in 10 countries and they know nothing yet. So I guess they have to wait a little bit longer to be able to test certain things and see baselines and stuff like that. But some experts are already raising red flags, particularly the additional changes, as many as 9, it has when compared to Omicron. So no one change is individually concerning, but appearing altogether at once is another matter. Tom Peacock, a virologist at the Department of Infectious Disease at Imperial College in London, said this week in a tweet. BA 2.75 is something we should all be concerned about, said Dr. Bruce Walker, director of the Reagan Institute of MGH, MIT, and Harvard, a medical institute focused on eradicating disease and co-leader of the Massachusetts Consortium on Pathogen Readiness. And he told all this to Fortune on Friday. So the nascent variant gives us insight into just what the virus is capable of in terms of mutation. Here again is a virus that has resemblance to the original Omicron variant, but with minor amino acid changes has become something that is likely to be able to evade immunity. I think what all of these variants are showing us is that the virus has not come anywhere close to exploring all of the evolutionary space available to it. And we'll just end that there. So, needless to say, Omicron is going to have its own subvariants. And then, of course, we can still get variants of COVID itself, and it could go from Omicron to something else. So, buckle up, kiddos. We're not done yet.
Buckle up,
So,
buttercup. Yeah.
another one for Fortune, well, whatever the difference of that is, um, talks about COVID, and the protection outside is not what people may think, especially compared from 2020. So here's why it's time to think more critically about outdoor gatherings. So the outdoors has always been a sanctuary, even more so since the advent of the pandemic. Spreading COVID outside was possible, but not probable, experts advised in 2020, urging cooped up citizens to turn to Mother Nature as an antidote to the isolation of lockdowns. Events, dining, and even entire classrooms were moved outside when feasible. But Omicron was a game changer in more ways than one. Good old Omicron again. The original Wuhan strand of COVID 19 had a reproductive rate almost known as RO or R not, I should say R0 or R not value of around 3.3, meaning that each infected person infected another 3.3 people on average. That put COVID 19 among the least transmissible human diseases. Now, again, this is when it just started out. That's why they say COVID 19, because that's what we called it when it first came out. So slightly less transmissible were the 1918 pandemic strand of flu, which had an estimated RO or R0 of 2, as does Ebola. Oh, these ads, okay. On the higher end of the spectrum, mumps has an RO of 12. Measles tops the list at 18. So, yeah, don't get measles. In order to outcompete successful COVID variants have become more transmissible with time. Delta had a slightly higher reproductive rate of around 5.1. Then came Omicron with a reproductive rate almost twice as large, 9.5. So-called South Omicron, nicknamed for its availability to evade detection on PCR tests, was about 1.4 times more transmissible than BA1, so its reproductive rate was around 13.3. Adrian Esterman, a professor of biostatistics and epidemiology at the University of South Australia, recently wrote on academic news website The Conversation. So new studies suggest that BA4 and 5 currently sweeping the US and countries around the globe have a growth rate over BA2 similar to the growth oh my god, these ads. Similar to the growth advantage BA2 had over BA1. Thus, the latest dominant COVID subvariants have a reproductive rate of around 18.6, tying or surpassing measles, the world's most infectious viral disease, according to Esterman. And we'll just stop that there. So, Liz and I were talking about this yesterday too. It seems like
I find it very dangerous when you and Liz start talking.
So the more that these variants come out,
they make me nervous.
The more these variants come out, the less potent or whatever they are, but the transmissibility is so higher, and so you can affect more people, and still with people, older people, sick people, young people, all that stuff, children, I mean, by young people, all those that are way more prone to getting infected and having a harder time with this, it's gonna get to the point where I think a lot of people are gonna start reverting back to masks, even if they don't want to. But
I know somebody that wears a mask no matter what.
Right. And then a lot of people, I do see them wearing them. I still see a lot of people wearing them incorrectly, but I guess, maybe their anxiety's down because at least it's on their face, so they feel like they're doing something. But if you don't have your nose covered, then what is the point? Anyway.
Siggy will go off on that, so that's keep it moving.
Makes no sense to me.
And I agree with
But
that.
anyway, so, yeah, so even being outside is not really... and the other thing is how it's being
transmitted.
Yeah, from person to person. I mean, to me, it's still supposed to be in the air. I have not heard anything different in forever
airborne,
about
right?
that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if we can't even be outside, that must mean that there's other ways of this thing getting transferred from person to person. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I have not seen any articles about that. So, yeah. But there's not a whole lot to sit there and talk about with COVID. Just again keep protecting yourself and blah blah blah. But we can move on, I think, to something else that has been infecting the U.S. And that's stupidity.
The presidency?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, never mind.
It's,
Never mind. Ignore what I just said.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they heard what she said over what I said,
Okay,
but
perfect.
she said presidency. I said stupidity. So
Go hand in hand.
But it's monkeypox. So the CDC, July 28th. This is from WBAL TV. So according to the CDC, Maryland has reported around 14 confirmed or presumed cases as of Friday. The Maryland Health Department told 11 News that the federal government allocated an initial 682 monkeypox vaccine doses to the state. The MDH said it will allocate 200 doses each to Baltimore City, Montgomery County, and Prince George's County, which are considered to be the 3 highest risk jurisdictions. And that was true for COVID. I mean, definitely Prince George's County, and I know Montgomery County was up there. Baltimore City was usually around 4th because I think Baltimore County actually was higher, but maybe not in the beginning of COVID. But the 14 presumed cases are among 700 reported in 34 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico. There have been 60 cases reported in D.C. So how monkeypox is spread. Human monkeypox is the same family of viruses as smallpox, but generally causes a milder infection, MDH said. It can be spread between people through direct contact with skin lesions, body fluids, or contaminated materials such as clothing or linens. It can also be spread through large respiratory droplets, which generally cannot travel more than a few feet, and prolonged face-to-face contact is required. So, yeah. So symptoms. Presenting symptoms typically include fever, chills, new swelling of lymph nodes, and a distinctive rash that often starts on the face and spreads to other parts of the body. However, onset of rash lesions elsewhere and the absence of other symptoms has been reported, MDH said. Symptoms generally appear 7 to 14 days after exposure, and for most people, clear up within 2 to 4 weeks. Individuals identified as having been potentially exposed to this case will be monitored for symptoms for 21 days after exposure. Yeah. So the criteria to be aware of: those who travel to Central or West African countries, parts of Europe where monkeypox cases were reported, or other areas where confirmed cases of monkeypox the month before their symptoms began. Those who have had contact with a person with confirmed or suspected monkeypox, or those who have had close or intimate in-person contact with individuals in a social network experience monkeypox activity, which includes men who have sex with men. So those are the criteria they're putting out there for that. So yeah, guys, just
wrap it up.
Watch out for that stuff. Not even wrap it up, because it's not even just the body fluids. Like, it's enclosed, it's touching skin if you have lesions and stuff. So anyway, ending on that note, we have to go to break. We will be right back.
Yeah, that's the sound of today's business community. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and only the strong survive. The challenge is navigating the ever-changing business environment to put your business in the forefront. So how does your business keep up with the changes? That's where She's the Boss Network comes in. She's the Boss Network is an internet media network that's been helping businesses like yours get the exposure that you're looking for at reasonable cost by way of radio and video. They'll help you stay successful by navigating change and seeing the big picture. After She's the Boss Network analyzes your business and marketing strategies, you'll start to see a media presence like you've never seen in your business before. And She's the Boss Network doesn't stop there. They use their findings to create a practical plan of action, a plan that will get your business from where you are to where you need to be. There you go. Lock those dogs up for good by giving She's the Boss Network a call at 866-494-5945, extension 101, or by checking their website at she'sthebossradio.com. Again, that's 866-494-5945, extension 101, or she'sthebossradio.com.
She's the Boss Enterprises, in collaboration with Get It In Island Cuisine 2, presents WSTBRN, She's the Boss Radio's second Thursday's networking mixer. Every second Thursday of the month, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., we will be highlighting a business once a month, radio opportunities, advertising, conversations, great food and drinks. So come on out and enjoy $3 rum punches, $5 Tito's vodka, and $7 catfish platters. For more information on this event and others, follow us on all our social media pages. Facebook, we are She's the Boss Radio. Twitter, we are She's the Boss Radio without the O. IG, Twitch, and Tumblr, we are WSTBRN. Or go out to www.she'sthebossradio.com. We make radio first so that your vision will be heard. If you would like to shine a light on your business during Second Thursdays, please email us at info@she'sthebossradio.com using the hashtag in the subject line, shine a light on it.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right, guys, we are back, and the story of the day today is about inflation. So while this is a little bit out of our realm because we're no economists, still we feel the effects of inflation, so we felt the need to talk about it, and just how, I mean, of course, we're giving our opinions, but we'll try to also give you guys facts, not just our rhetoric here. But I'll start out just by, talking about this Bloomberg article that I just found. But so it talks about the aggressive rate path of this inflation. So apparently in June, the inflation was seen rising 8.8% from a year ago and 1.1% on a monthly basis. That's a lot. That is a lot because, accumulation, just think of it that way, over time, it's going to be, it's already super high. And of course, we felt it, first in 2020. I think that's when you started noticing chicken was going up and stuff like that. I hadn't really noticed it at that time, but I definitely noticed it now. And I think it also depends on a person's income because mine changed. And so, I notice it more now than I did in the past. But this article says that inflation continued to heat up in June, hitting a fresh pandemic peak that keeps the Federal Reserve geared for another big interest rate hike later this month, economists project. The Consumer Price Index probably increased 8.8% from a year earlier, making the largest jump since 1981, according to the median forecast in a Bloomberg survey. Compared to May, the widely followed gauge is seen climbing 1.1%, marking the third month in the last 4 that inflation has advanced at least 1%. So, obviously, if we do the very simple math, if it continues at 1% or so for a year, that's 12% in a year. And, again, that's a lot for anything. And, I mean, yeah, it's to the point where we've heard people even talking about buying used cars at dealerships. That's gone up.
Yeah.
The article that I'd seen some time ago was talking about women being hit pretty hard because, well, that, but also they have, and this might be more, it doesn't exactly say single women, but it also might be more single women because if they're taking care of like childcare and things like that. But I mean, that's really any single parent, if you have kids and you're doing kind of stuff on your own and, and childcare is going up and, school dues or whatever.
Right. Oh my God. You know those, right?
But
You've heard me yell about those.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there are single fathers too.
Yeah.
That
That's
are getting
what I was
hit.
saying,
Yeah. So, don't think that we're just going by, women. There are single parents, period, that are out here trying to make it. And if the price gouging after the lockdown was lifted, price gouging went amok. Like they went nuts with it.
Yeah.
And it's still going up.
Right. And this article does speak specifically to women only because, like you were saying, the imbalance in you were saying more finances, the imbalance of finances. But this says, the gender imbalances in household duties and pandemic-induced financial insecurities exacerbated by an increase in childcare costs. So all that affects women more than men, according to this article, and all impacting women's mental well-being. So there's a clear link between people experiencing financial stress and having poor mental health. Really, but that makes sense, and so with this Dr. Natasha Bouillon, a family physician, she was saying among her clients, mental health is the number one issue. So, you have women experiencing much more anxiety and anger and depression and stuff like that, fear about their finances, which I understand that part.
Yeah.
But and not even to mention the gas. I don't know how I forgot that. Much as I
when
drive
you have
around.
you have to pick at the gas pump. Pick it, and this is the thing. Cat Williams said this in 2012 that there is no way you're living in the United States, the richest country in the world, home of the brave and all of that, and you're at the pumps trying to figure out, should I put gas in this car or feed my kids? That's
well, you have
battle.
to do both, because how you gonna get to work?
If you can't, you're right. But for right now, a lot of people are going day by day.
Yeah, you're just gonna put 10 in the tank and whatever's left.
Yeah.
Feed the
Remember
kids,
when
you
you
know
could
what I'm
just go to the store, buy a month full of groceries, for some people, and you still had money. You had money to just drive, go to work, go to events, have fun, live. Now we work to pay bills, but we don't work to live, to have fun, to enjoy ourselves. There are going to be more and more suicidal ideations and possible suicides, period, coming up. And it's so unfortunate. That's why I strongly suggest everybody, even if you've never had mental health issues or anything,
or if they were just mild.
Yeah, it's not a shame to talk to somebody. We've had recently, I've gotten calls about people that have had mental health issues. Nobody knew about it. Persons have felt a certain kind of way, but instead of disclosing it to the family or finding somebody totally outside of the family to talk to, decided to take matters into their own hands, and it ended up tragically. So can we stop and just find somebody to talk to that's not in your circle? If you can't trust the people around you, find somebody outside. There's a lot of mental health facilities out here, and if you don't like the idea of going to a mental health facility, just find a doctor. There's psychiatrists. You don't have to say they're psychiatrists. I want to see my doctor. Something. But the shame of mental health needs to go away.
Yeah. So getting back to this, but so the acceleration is likely to reflect higher gasoline and elevated food costs. Prices at the nation's gas pumps reached a high of more than $5. They're down below that, at least here in Maryland. And I would have to say probably Virginia, because Virginia's always been lower than Maryland.
Yes.
A gallon in mid-June, and will add to at least 0.5% point to the headline CPI monthly advance. So here it says high gas prices, which were increasing well before Russia invaded Ukraine, helped explain both President Joe Biden's dismal approval ratings and his upcoming trip to the Middle East, where he hopes to convince Arab leaders to produce more oil. So I know gas prices have gone down now. I don't know what he did to kind of fix that, but I appreciate it, because $75 to fill up my car. Now it's a little less, but still, it all helps. It'd be nice if we went back down to like $3.50, but whatever. But fuel prices have started to ease this month, suggesting the CPI will simmer down beginning with the July data, though still well elevated. Still cooling, and inflation may already be in train as bloated retail inventories lead to discounts and used car prices soften. A lot of stuff needs to soften. But
can we go back to when my son got his truck and talk about that price? Like, can we soften that?
That's done now.
Yeah.
Refinance it. That's what you have to do. We want to refinance his car, please.
You refinance him.
There you go. So while Fed officials have already signaled a 75 basis point interest rate hike at their next meeting, smaller inflation prints in the coming months could lead to less aggressive policy action later this year. Yeah.
Well, this is my thing though. We've gone so many decades of the 1%ers not paying their fair share.
Yeah, that's one
And
thing.
to bring business into a city, we make deals with these people. You know what I'm saying? And what ends up happening is the city or state these large companies are in end up getting screwed. And that's what exactly, I'm going to speak for Baltimore. It's been screwed down, right, left, right, everywhere. Every which way. Starting with the Indy 500 that we had. All that money wasted. And the city hasn't recuperated since. So let's talk about that.
It seems like there's a lot of that going on for Baltimore. So I see as of the end of June, 8.6 was the inflation rate there. But anyway, the impact that this is having on people is insane, because even people who, may not have kids or just, extra expenses, they're still having issues, because depending on the pay that you're getting at your job, you still can't afford certain things.
Yeah.
It's like, for some of us, like, I drive around a lot, so I need gas to be able to get to my jobs. But sometimes I don't want to fill that tank up.
Yeah.
But I also know I might as well just fill it up all the way, because even if I fill it halfway, what's the point? I'll be right back sooner to the gas pump. So, you fill it up, you put in that $60 to $70. For some people, it's more than that. If you have, an F-150 or something like that.
Or the Humvee that we saw.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's insane, because that's just guzzling gas. But, I told somebody I'm about to trade in my Rogue for an electric car.
I don't blame you.
At this point, I could just charge it and go and be good for a while. So, but I think that's coming anyway. That is the wave of the future. A lot more electric cars.
And also, what is it? Tesla, the company, not Elon Musk, but the company is actually paying homeowners into using their solar panels. And it lowers the price of electricity in the house. And then sometimes you have so much banked up that you could sell it back. BGE, Constellation, whoever the company is, you can sell it back and make money off of it.
Yeah, and that's if your house can accommodate it, then I would definitely do it.
Well, yeah, you have to go through the whole questionnaire and stuff like that. And I
I'm just saying, some positions of the house, or if you have too many trees or something, and the light can't get to it, may not be feasible for you.
Cut the trees.
That's if you want to do that.
Look.
But,
send my father over there. He loves cutting stuff down.
But yeah, so
I'm gonna leave that there.
But anyways, we have to go to break. We will be back.
Royne's listening.
You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think? You could listen to one of those other stations, but what would your friends think?
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service.
She's the
So
B.O.S.S
you won't
Enterprises,
have
in
like
collaboration
all
with
long
Get It
you
In
get
Island
back
Cuisine
to
2,
doing the
presents
things you love to do
WSTBRN.
immediately.
She's the
And
B.O.S.S
it's a way to
Radio's
make
second
your
Thursday's
career
networking
while
mixer.
improving
Every
your
second Thursday of the month from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will be highlighting a business once a month, radio opportunities, advertising, conversations, great food and drinks. So come on out and enjoy $3 rum punches, $5 Tito's vodka, and $7 catfish platters. For more information on this event and others, follow us on all our social media pages. Facebook, we are She's the Boss Radio. Twitter, we are She's the Boss Radio without the O. IG, Twitch, and Tumblr, we are WSTBRN. Or go out to www.she'sthebossradio.com. We make radio first so that your vision will be heard. If you would like to shine a light on your business during Second Thursdays, please email us at info@she'sthebossradio.com using the hashtag in the subject line, shine a light on it.
Hey, I'm Jenny James for Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner. You've probably been home a lot more. Maybe you have kids like me who spill all the time, and you've noticed that your carpet's not looking so good. Why don't you call Neatly Done Carpet Cleaner? They use a dry extraction service, so you won't have wet carpet all day long, and you can get back to doing the things you love with your family immediately. And it's a way to make your room healthier while improving your indoor air quality. You can do tile, slate, granite, ceramic, area rugs, and yes, they're pet friendly too. Why don't you get a free, no obligation estimate today? NeatlyDoneSanAntonio.com.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
All right, so we are we're gonna switch things up a little bit because there's something that Moran's been dying to talk about. And even though I found the article, I didn't have a chance to read it. So Moran's gonna carry this. Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about it. Mayor Brandon Scott makes public year-in-progress report on his crime prevention strategy. Well, here we go. All Park Heights raised individual. So basically what he's done is he's come up with a bunch of acronyms and a bunch of people to be involved in these acronyms. So the report indicates the outcome of a 5-year-long comprehensive violence prevention plan. And it was compiled by Mayor Brandon Scott's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, acronym MONSE. Okay, according to city officials. The plan aims to target gun violence as though it is a public health crisis through coordinated and sustainable practices. This is my issue. Brandon Scott allocated $50 million in the America Rescue Plan Act. He took that $50 million and gave it to Baltimore City Police. Those lights or cameras they have in certain areas, those high violent areas, put it there. And what was it? We just found out that those cameras don't work. So the money that was given to them, who was monitoring the fact that you couldn't have been getting real-time intelligence from these cameras when they haven't worked.
The City Watch cameras?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we did the report that they wasn't working.
They don't work. So we, as citizens of Baltimore City, past and present, know those things don't work because people have been robbed, shot, and nothing has happened. And he has another program called, just give me a second, the Gun Violence Reduction Strategy, GVRS, in West Baltimore District, in partnership with local and national tactical technical advisors, BPD, State's Attorney's Office, and United States Office of Federal Law Enforcement agencies, including DEA, ATF, FBI, U.S. Marshals, Maryland DPSCS, DJS,
That's whatever the hell that is.
Department of Public Service. Yeah. Other government services providers. Okay. This is my issue with this. All these people have been investigating Baltimore City and the corruption within it. So you're involving them in this. I'm hoping they find is that guns that are out here on the street, because these children can't afford these guns. And as we learned thanks to DOJ sending people here to investigate, and the idiots that were caught and were arrested and are doing time, some are out already from the police department. We have learned that guns that were seized by these so-called police officers went in to evidence, but somehow made it out of evidence and went back in the street. Now, the process of this thing is that when a gun, or, basically a gun, when it's seized, it goes to evidence, it's documented, it goes to evidence, it goes to the trial as evidence. Then, after the case is finished, the trial has commenced and ended and everything is done, it's supposed to be destroyed. So you need to, Brandon Scott's got all these people out here doing stuff, and $17.6 million organizations, ARPA, I don't even know what that is. He has all these programs, and as a mental health provider who deals with parole and probation directly, the courts, DJS, we deal with all these people. I have never heard of these acronyms involved in anything to prevent or better service these people.
Right, and so this is all listed under accomplishments that this year-old agency, the MONS agency, has done. And so, like Moran said, beginning that the implementation of the group violence reduction strategy, developing a framework for community violence intervention, awarding that 17.6 million to organizations focused on community violence intervention. I mean, that was in an article we talked about before. But laying the foundation for expanded victims services for shock survivors, finalized and publicly released the findings and recommendation of MONS's internal evaluation of cultural and operational norms associated with Baltimore's 10 current safe street sites. Yeah, so it has this whole list. Testified in legislative hearings before the Maryland General Assembly and Baltimore City Council in partnership with the Mayor's Office of Government Relations. How's that an accomplishment? Testified on what, first of all?
This is my thing. How can you testify on anything when the people you're testifying in front of corrupt people? So the corrupt person is testifying in front of the corrupt politician. Like, cut it out.
Have you heard of the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council?
I have
that
not
was
heard.
Reestablished.
Right, and that's my whole thing. I'm sitting here now. You got to remember how many years? 20 plus years here. I have never heard of these people on either side of my life. Like, I've never heard of these people. And this is what gets me. They come up with these things and says, oh, you must not have heard about it, but we've been out here. No, you haven't.
Maybe, but you've been so low.
Right. And this is what I'm sitting here reading this whole article, this whole report that he has up here. I still don't see where there's an accountability. I need somebody to be there to account for every dollar, because you're doing this and have all these beautiful little programs out here, but you have facilities out here that's been doing it and have been visible to the communities.
Sorry. First comment: the mayor uses that Baltimore City Schools math when citing criminal statistics.
Amen.
Where 2 + 2 = whatever number Brandon makes up.
Exactly. And the crazy part about it, he went to Mervo. So he's giving Mervo a bad name. Hold up, my son went there too. I gotta ask my son about his math too.
Right. Make sure
just in case they didn't do that Brandon math on him.
Yeah. But I mean,
I agree.
all this is crazy. And then again, I don't know anything about this Anthony Barksdale guy who used to be the former police commissioner.
Can I ask you a question? Not to cut you off, but can I ask you a question? Who was the guy from Safe Streets that were killed? Do you remember his name?
Barksdale. I don't remember his first name. But that's the first thing I thought of, just because Barksdale's not. I mean, it seems very common in Baltimore. But I remember years ago, some random dude tried to be my friend on Facebook. His last name was Barksdale. I was like, what? But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the Barksdale. Unfortunately, the one that got killed, I had, infrequent contact with him because our two agencies were in the same office. But that's about the extent of it. Some hellos, what's up? Yeah. That's about it. But I don't know anything about this guy. But Brandon decided he was going to make him deputy mayor for public safety. So he's going to oversee this MONS project, the Baltimore Police Department, the Baltimore City Fire Department, and the Office of Emergency Management.
But this is my issue with all of this, is that where's the accountability? So the consent decree is federal, so you know they're going to account for every single dollar they give Baltimore City.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying he's tasked with ensuring the implementation of it. So
Right, but that part, but that part I'm not worried about. But what I'm worried about is all of these. The $50 million was given, and he's breaking it down to show us, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I am doing that. But dude, are you really?
I guess we'll see. Because to me, a year is a little too soon to be saying that. Oh, accomplishments. But you're acting like Bush, mission accomplished. Like, no.
Yeah, we knew that it took 20 years and mission was not accomplished.
It wasn't even 20 years in when he said it. But
yeah,
it was 20 years from now.
Yeah, but my issue again is this. My point, to be exact, and I hope everybody gets what I'm trying to say. I know a year is too soon to get any actual actionable information from all of these programs. But at least within a year, people that are in the city and doing things with these community-based providers, whether it's Safe Streets, if it's mental health providers, PRP, just all of these programs, you should have compiled a list of providers that service this demographic that you want to resolve and find some kind of, baseline for. Reach out to these people. You should have been known to these people, or at least communicated with them and said, hey, we want to have a sit down just to let you know this is what we're trying to do. Pick our brain. We out here. Right. We've been out here. Just celebrated 12 years? We've been out here. Outlaws, he been out here. The other companies I don't care for, so just, win in positive steps. We've been out here. We haven't heard anything from any of these people. The churches have reached out to us, but these programs that have been given $50 million, well, the main thing is $50 million and it's broken apart for each program. I ain't seen you. Do something about the dirt bike boys. Now, what is it? The Rude talking about how he's going to get rid of the squeegee boys. Brandon Scott, you here now. Do something. Right. Not to get rid of them. To me, that sounds like you just want to pack them up, put them in a jail and leave them there. Give them something. And are these programs that he's given this money to have actionable programs or ideas that are going to help, not hurt the city? Because this generation is something different than ours. At least they're trying to be out here doing something. Some of them, right or wrong, they out here. But you get mad and want to lock them up if they sell a dime bag or whatever. Right. But then when they try to do something as simple as squeegee the window, and Sigourney and I have been around, whereas though they've come up and we've said, no, we've never had any negative interaction with these people. So I don't get it. Dude got out of his car, parked, grabbed a metal bat, and went. Depends on where you're at. Right, but he was downtown.
That's my point. I don't really frequent down there, so I can't say what my interactions would be. But the times I have been down there, there's been no problem. I just shake my head and make my hands no, and they just keep walking.
Right. So again, these programs, where's the accountability? That's my only thing I've always said, is that there's got to be somebody. Not counting the dollars and cents, but,
All right, we got to go to break, y'all. We'll be right back.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
Yeah, that's the sound of today's business community. It's a dog-eat-dog world and only the strong survive. The challenge is navigating the ever-changing business environment to put your business in the forefront. So how does your business keep up with the changes? That's where She's the Boss Network comes in. She's the Boss Network is an internet media network that's been helping businesses like yours get the exposure that you're looking for at reasonable cost by way of radio and video. They'll help you stay successful by navigating change and seeing the big picture. After She's the Boss Network analyzes your business and marketing strategies, you'll start to see a media presence like you've never seen in your business before. And She's the Boss Network doesn't stop there. They use their findings to create a practical plan of action, a plan that will get your business from where you are to where you need to be. There you go. Lock those dogs up for good by giving She's the Boss Network a call at 866-494-5945, extension 101, or by checking their website at she'sthebossradio.com. Again, that's 866-494-5945, extension 101, or she'sthebossradio.com.
She's the Boss Enterprises, in collaboration with Get It In Island Cuisine 2, presents WSTBRN, She's the Boss Radio's second Thursday's networking mixer. Every second Thursday of the month, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., we will be highlighting a business once a month, radio opportunities, advertising, conversations, great food and drinks. So come on out and enjoy $3 rum punches, $5 Tito's vodka, and $7 catfish platters. For more information on this event and others, follow us on all our social media pages. Facebook, we are She's the Boss Radio. Twitter, we are She's the Boss Radio without the O. IG, Twitch, and Tumblr, we are WSTBRN. Or go out to www.she'sthebossradio.com. We make radio first so that your vision will be heard. If you would like to shine a light on your business during Second Thursdays, please email us at info@she'sthebossradio.com using the hashtag in the subject line, shine a light on it.
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the boss. Radio Network.
Okay, so we're back.
Yeah. I want Brandon Scott to come and talk. I got some questions. Come on, dude. I want to know who came up with these dumbass acronyms and these dumbass programs with no accountability. And you have a program, Public Safety Accountability Dashboard. But who's checking them? Who's checking the checkers? Because if these people are city employees or state employees, they corrupt too. It needs to be an independent accountability dashboard. That's my whole thing. With DPS too. What is it? DPD. I keep calling them DPS because they're pieces of shit. But and somebody needs to hold Brandon Scott accountable as well. Because being from Baltimore, I don't see it.
Well, I think some of that too is on the citizens. You need to hold people accountable when they go to these meetings, which they have. I mean, I've seen some articles where people have gone to the community meetings and have expressed like, look, we're not happy,
disgust.
blah, blah, blah. And, you need to do something about it. So, because even like this article here from the ACLU, it says Police Accountability Board bill was signed into law yesterday by Mayor Brandon Scott. This was from the first. Following dozens of community members flooding the bill's public hearings and voicing concern of the bill's original language, causing major community amendments to be added to the bill. Bam. They complained, they went there, they did what they needed to do, and some changes were made. And so that's one way that people can, hold the council and the mayor president. Accountable.
Right.
Well, the president too, he needs to be held accountable too. But yeah, so that's the thing that just has to happen. And it's tough because some people love to complain but don't want to do anything. And I think we can all be like that at some point. But also at some point you have to actually have some action behind your complaints and actually, get out there and do something.
But what was it that we were watching a city council? Oh, yeah. So a couple weeks ago, the city council had an open meeting and had citizens come speak on refunding the police, defunding the police, that whole thing. And a lot of people, I mean, prominent people came up and spoke on why they don't think all this money needs to go to the police department. Why are they getting raises for services not rendered? You know, if you're an employer and your employee gives you an invoice with overinflated numbers, that's theft. And we have seen theft within Baltimore City ranks.
Right.
So why are we applauding being held hostage by the police department? They spoke, they gave great speeches and everything. And at the end of the day, what happened? Nothing, because Baltimore City Police Department got their raises. So what's the point of wasting my time coming down there and speaking and telling you what I feel needs to happen as a citizen, and you tell me, well, we're city council, we're going to do it anyway, we're just doing this just for show? That's what I got from it.
I mean, it's hard because obviously here you see where it works, but I think it also depends on what it is you're trying to go down and fight against. If it's the police, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make any changes.
And the crazy thing is, yes, it was the police, and we have, DC, we had the dirty dozen. Same corruption things. It's here, 2022. People that have lived in Baltimore City have known about the police corruption since the 90s. But these guys were caught in the 2000s, 2010, 12, whatever it is. We've known of this. So when I see people actually risking their safety, coming out and saying, no, you can look at my face, you know where I'm from, you know my name. I'm telling you, I don't think you deserve a raise because you haven't done the work you were hired to do. And for city council, and you know I keep saying this, I'm going to keep saying it. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of all of them. Start over. And I want people to actually vet these candidates for city council. Do your vetting. When I say do your vetting, is go check what school they went to. Where was their first job? Research how this person, most of them are lawyers. You could see how everything went in their life, basically. In this,
first job, like,
yeah.
who cares what they did when they were 15?
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't give a
Just to
damn about their
clarify.
team. Because, I mean, criminal record starts at 18. Everything else can be quashed, can be sealed. I say, as their professional life, let me know. Like, I want to know what they've done in their professional life. If their personal and professional has kind of bled in together and they've done something in their personal life that violates their professional life, then I say go ahead and vet that. But just like you could search for so-and-so that you went to school with 10 years ago and know their whole life, you could do that to these people. We know how to do that. Like, come on now. We better than this. You can't keep, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. We've been living in a hamster cage or a hamster wheel. We keep going around in circles and nothing is changing. It's time for somebody to step out of that daggone hamster wheel and say something. Stop it. I'm tired of it. Yesterday, my son is telling me there's police all over the place and helicopters and all of that. And I had to tell him, please don't step out the house yet. Because it's going to take one time for his big self to come out. Anything can happen. I don't think we should live like that way. Like, to me, I'm so over it. I'm so over this. The people I grew up with, I tell them all the time, if y'all can afford to leave, leave.
Yeah, but therein lies a problem too. If everybody keeps leaving Baltimore, then what's Baltimore going to turn into?
True.
Like, it doesn't. People don't need to leave. The people who are responsible for this city need to do better. Period. They need to fix this city up.
But the thing is that when the infection starts from the inside, I'm talking about city council, the mayor's office, DPD.
Yeah, you can get rid of people, bring new people in. I'm just saying, my point is that it's on the people who's working for the city, working for the people who need to fix it up. 'Cause they're the ones who have that kind of power to do that.
True.
Now, yeah, we can have a separate conversation as to who should be on any particular board or in city council or as mayor, but that's what they're there for. That's why these people are appointed, or these jobs were created, was to make each city the best that it can be. And so far with Baltimore, we've seen a lot of failures, especially in certain areas of Baltimore, areas where people don't go and visit, and there's no tourists there. Like, so you're not going to dress it up and do this and that because it's just everyday people living there. But
what
like
gets
Fells Point, Canton, y'all make sure that looks pretty and nice. Yeah, that's where people are going frequent.
Right, but my thing is that what I've noticed about Hogan now versus Hogan then. Hogan now, he picks, like, he says he sees something happen in Fells Point, one random act of violence, right? I'm just saying. Random act of violence. Now all of Baltimore is a shitty place. But you didn't say anything the whole time there was, what is that? Old Frederick Road, something happened there. Edmondson. This, that. Just all these places, East Baltimore, down Chase Street. Things have been happening in Baltimore City. You haven't said a word, but then in Fells Point, Canton, and...
even this guy who got killed by a squeegee person, he, said something about, I don't know, about getting information, and I don't know if he put out like a money amount or something, but it's like other innocent people get killed all the time, but you're not putting out rewards or even a statement, regarding that.
To us, that's biased. And you think you're going to be president of the United States? You couldn't even manage the state that you were supposed to be, you were hired to manage. Shut the hell up, dude. Like, for real. Yeah. And Brandon, I'm so disappointed. If I could, I would shave that damn... Maybe that's the problem. The afro might be getting in the way of common sense. I know common sense ain't common.
He did cut it down, I thought.
Now, somebody needs to just take that thing all the way off. So he could look like everybody else. Maybe he has a height issue or what? Make him look taller with that big afro. But at this point, he ain't got it. He ain't got it. He's got it on paper, but in his mind, he knows he wasn't ready for it. I don't think he was ready to run Baltimore City. I don't think so. And to the fact that because of your failures, we might have a Trump 2.0 leading the way, that's scary as hell.
I don't think he's that bad.
I don't like it. I'm telling you, he is, so what's his guy's name? The Indian guy that Trump pardoned. He is, it's Sosa or something like that. And my whole thing is, that guy wanted to be in the cool crowd. D'Souza, that's his name. Yeah, Ganesh D'Souza. He wanted to be part of the fraternity brothers. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be part of the cool boys. And he didn't. And Theroux kind of reminds me of him. Just by his actions and what I don't know him personally, but his actions and his words, that's who I see. I see D'Souza every time I see him.
Yeah.
That's
well,
scary.
We're going to end there. But thanks for tuning in. You can always go to she'sthebossradio.com and see what's up with Deplorable Rhetoric there and all the other shows, but ours is more important. You can also go to tunein.com or Shoutcast. You can tell Alexa
she said what she said.
Tell Alexa or Siri to play She's the Boss Radio. You can also follow so you can get the notifications for the shows. She's the Boss Radio on Facebook, She's the Boss Radio on Twitter, WSTBRN on IG, and WSTBR on Twitch and Tumblr. And you could also follow us, Deplorable Rhetoric, on Facebook, Deplorable_Rhetoric on Instagram, and We Rant to Rave, the number 2 on Twitter. We'll talk at y'all Tuesday.
You thought I would have said that, right, Lakita?
We don't break the laws. We just make up our own. The internet's best choice for music. She's the B.O.S.S. Radio.